So Hikurangi is the maunga that I come from, the mountain. Waipu is the awa, the river that I come from. My mother is from Tauira, that's the sub-tribe. And so our hapu, our meeting house was on Maunga Hikurangi, and it then shifted to where it is today, at the foot of those mountains. And that's where I was kind of brought up with my mum. I was brought up in New Plymouth as well, both the East Coast and the West Coast. But my heritage really comes from drawing on my mum and her side, and being Ngāti Porou. And my father comes from New Plymouth, and his English Scottish side as well that we have in connection to where we come from, because of those, hearing those old people talk. And so because of that, my whole path was set from that time. So I found that once my son was born, that triggered it more, where I realized how important whakapapa was for my son, and he was firstborn, and on both sides. And so whakapapa and whenua became so important to me in my early 20s, and my journey being formed by my family, and the way that they would always talk about it, their passion and their love for the farm and where we come from. So I found that in my 20s I started studying at Te Wānanga Raukawa and studying whakapapa and iwi history, iwi and hapu history. And okay, cool. So the mahi side of it is how Papa Joe went through different marae on the East Coast. So Papa Joe, Delamere come from the other side of the mountain. So we're on the furthest East Coast side of the mount of Maunga Hikurangi, and Papa Joe come from the other side of that mountain. And when he stopped in at our marae, our meeting house, he said that because at the top of that mountain is supposed to be Maui's waka, well, it is Maui's waka that's overturned, and so the anchor of that waka, Papa Joe said, rests at our marae, our meeting house where we come from. And one time when I was back home, I'd heard that story, been told that story before, and we literally saw the anchor. There's a river that runs around our farm, and we literally saw the anchor running around our farm, along the river, and then going up to the meeting house. We saw it physically. It looked like a huge kind of dust storm and a big ball or anchor, poo. And that weekend there was about 12 of our elders that passed away. So those things are really true, and the things that Papa Joe spoke about are really true and sacred. And the mahi is, the more that I do it, the more that I realise how I'm supposed to do it, and I think those that are called to do it, they just know that they're called to do it. And but the more that you do it, the more that you practice, the more that you do the work, more synchronicities show up, and those things that show your individuality within the big kaupapa that it is, and you start to bring out your own individual ways of doing uniqueness, supreme uniqueness. What makes you supremely unique in how you do it. Like how you would be totally different to how I would in the next person.
Yeah, and I often say that to the trainees as well, so they know, like, you're going to have your own style, like, don't imitate me, because your intuition and your knowing and your matikite, like what you're seeing, will be so different from how I see. And how I'm guided definitely on the body, or even, to move in my own life, will be different. So, some of us are more visual and some of us more in our body. It's different for each person. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it changes all the time for each of us too, the way that we mahi. It's kind of evolving and growing, and the way it. One thing I love about the doing RomiRomi and Māori healing is how much it evolves and grows with you, and it's a lifestyle. RomiRomi Māori healing and all of that. I found what my niche was, and through the practice. But what I found with mediumship is it was like being on an advance, and an advanced trip where it just you shot off really fast. And whereas with the wānanga, with Māori healing, it was something that just happened naturally, and it evolves and it grows with you, and it's in your timing as to how you do things, and your timing as to how you naturally evolve and grow. Not the way things flow with Māori healing is very feminine, and it goes by a feminine time. I mean, mediumship does too, as far as working with the spirit, but it's a totally different.
But it feels like sometimes we can access, or I feel that say something like mediumship is sort of one energetic field, but it's like and it's a bit out of the body somehow. But like I feel like with Māori healing or Māori practice, it's like we're integrating the body at the same time. So because the body's like in a slower process, somehow it's going slower, but there's all these
and like you're saying, Māori healing encompasses the whole lot holistically, including the body. We're working with everything. So often I'll get mediums that will come for work and come and have sessions, and they're amazing because they've already done a lot of the work through the whakamanatia, but they just need the body work to be done to catch up to the work that they've already done, on the body and clearing their cellular memory. So what I found was as soon as we found what the issue was for her, I very quickly kind of was triggered in a really, really big way. But the good thing about that is those traumatic experiences were holding me back as well for a long time, and I couldn't figure out why certain things kind of kept coming up when I had done all the work from here to Timbuktu, and for years and years. And but then by being triggered by her, that 6 months that I took off from doing healing was probably the best 6 months and the biggest investment in my own life, in the long run. The good thing about being triggered, and if you clear it, is that you've overcome that trauma, and then you're a better position to work with people in the future. You become, a specialist in that area, for clearing that particular thing by your own healing and development. So that's a huge part of my practice, doing fertility, and my view is that fertility and clearing general trauma go hand in hand, because you're working with whakapapa, but it all comes down to practice. Practice, working with as many people as you can to find how you work, and like we're saying, your own individuality, what makes you unique in that field and in that area. The whakamanatia is a big part of that for me. So it's RomiRomi is like search and rescue. That's how I see it sometimes.
That's cool.
You're searching for parts of people's spirit that have splintered off or fractured or disassociated, and or you're finding the blockages that are in the way, and you're searching for. But fertility, the whakamanatia, is a big part of that for me, because of the search and rescue type of work that it is. Searching where the problem is, and whether that is in their body memory from the trauma that they've experienced in this lifetime, or if it's past lifetimes, or if it's generational trauma through their ancestors, you're having to go through and find where it is and search for it and clear it. And
that, like, we're not just doing body work, like we're doing house clear, like whenever we're doing anything, we're clearing everything. And even if someone's coming to our space, like we're connecting to their homes, to their land, to their Tūranga Waiwai, like it's all of it. And
totally.
So I think, and lots of people, I find sometimes they'll be coming back and I'll wonder why, and then it's because they haven't blessed the house, or something is there that needs to be cleared. So I think it's a really good factor to bring up and to share. It's so intertwined, all of it. All the white oil work.
But I found out when I that whole journey of working with the land, I found out there were this is where our tūpuna kind of trick us into learning about stuff, where, well, not trick us, but I found that by having
sometimes it's tricking. I feel like it's tricking sometimes. I'm like, what?
Depends how cheeky your ancestors are. I think mine are pretty cheeky, the things.
Mine too.
By giving me that focus, that goal to clear the land, what they actually did was clear me, and they taught me how to clear myself and how to clear my lines and my ancestry and as well as land. But really it was about, the personal unfoldment that I got out of it was much more than what I ever imagined. And it turned out that because you're clearing bit by bit over time and over years before I actually got to clear that land, I found out it was my great grandmother that had actually died on the land giving birth. She hemorrhaged and she passed away. So that's what the grief was that was on the land that I could feel all those years ago. And so when you're talking about in that sense, that whole pathway being set by my tūpuna, and that was my training. I would describe wānanga as a higher space of learning, as a sacred space of learning, and each teacher and the way that they deliver their highest space of learning, sacred space of learning, is different. So you go to different teachers for different things, where you'll be drawn. Your ancestors will guide you as to who to go to, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
It would be in their whakapapa anyway. So even though they haven't been brought up with it, if they're awakening to it, it'll be in their whakapapa or in their past lives, in their generations, no doubt. So I would definitely recommend the body work, because you can clear everything that's no longer serving you, so that you can enjoy the mana, the dignity of your lines, of your ancestors, and the mauri that comes with them as well. So in our lines, the mana and the mauri that's there from our ancestors, we want to be able to strip back everything, all the blockages that get in the way of that, and streamline, like kara pūtoro being the first thought, and going with that. We want to be able to go with the mana and the mauri of our tūpuna, like the beauty of our lines, to be able to bring those out, so that we stay true to who we are, the dignity of who we come from, and bring out the best of that. In order to do that, you need to be able to strip back everything that is not that. And the best way to do that is RomiRomi, or having distance healing sessions, working with someone like yourself, to be able to get to the heart of what's the true you, which is in the mana and the mauri of your tūpuna, the dignity and the warmth, the vitality of your ancestors. I think what just comes to mind talking about our ancestors is this, and this time that we're in at the moment, is about having unwavering faith, staying true to what it is that you want, the dreams that you have, knowing that even though there's a whole lot going on right now, that our dreams, you can still make your dreams a reality, and by staying true and holding true to what they are, and having an unwavering faith and that belief in your individuality, having an unwavering faith in the next 3 months, because at the moment it's like we're all on a plane and we're feeling a little bit of turbulence, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah. And you know, and in the next 3 months, like there's, you know, likely to be a little bit more turbulence. And so I remember being on a plane from LA to coming back here, and it was like this whole tunnel of light appeared, and as we were going through turbulence, and it just went a little bit smooth for a while. And it's that kind of feeling of having unwavering faith that there's going to be this tunnel of light, that we're going to move through it, you know, and reach our destination. I'd love to. I've got what's called a 12 Hawks healing program, and that starts this Sunday and it goes for the next 12 weeks. So it's from that place of doing, like I was saying, having unwavering faith over the next 12 weeks. And if I'm finding that some of my clients want to have me in their corner to kind of move through this together, to be able to, you know, like you just did kaupare, and how we would normally do a session for RomiRomi is very similar to how we do a distance healing session. And I'll be working with people in a small online group every week doing this distance healing session for the small group, and that'll be every Sunday 4 p.m. Yeah, I think. Are you doing anything like that? Some online stuff?
Yeah, I'm mostly doing one-on-one sessions, online healing stuff. But yeah, awesome. It's been really fun actually to connect, like to chat. It's been challenging because I have preferred the face-to-face up till now. So it's been cool, but it's been showing me where I need to grow as well, to share more online, and expanding me into that space of expanding our waiata is so wide and it's so large, so it can go all those distances and travel. So can I just share what I get with you? Totally. What I'm getting with you when you're talking, and if you're providing something for your online group, that all I just see is a massive channel of white light over you and over the space and the people that you're going to be working with. So not to be afraid of having an online group, because you are able to tap in and bring that universal source energy down. And I just see like a big white light. So I feel like you should be doing more than one-on-ones, like group stuff. So I just put that out there. Thanks for the push. Yeah. So, because I just see a big channel of light coming down over you and the group that you're going to be working with. So I just want to encourage you. Would you like to say a kaupare to close, or a takutaku? Or?
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a short one.
Yeah.
He mauri, he mautō katoa ki te rongo o Haipuru, he matatu paipai he ringa ki ngā manukana ka whiri ko te umurangi. Hei tā kao maurangi ko ngā paro kia whātu kia whauru. E kumero e kumetau, rauraro ki ta puaro Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you too, thank you. Appreciate you, appreciate your wisdom. Awesome.
You too, thank you.